So to start, I'd like to share these three themes with you that we're seeing. And the reason why I included them up here is because these are by and large the heaviest emitting sectors in the entire world. So we have industrial manufacturing. This is how we make the goods and raw materials that we use every day. Energy, how we generate the electrons and fuels that power us. And then food, which is mainly about how we grow the nutrients that give us life. And so I think what you'll see here is really, there's a common thread that's connecting all three of these, and it's how we do something. I know that's pretty nebulous, but more specifically, how we do these three things. And I think when you think of innovations in this space, when you think of innovations in sustainability, it's really about how you make each one of these things more efficient, right? So for every acre of land we use, or for every rock that we mine from the earth, how can you extract the most product out of it? And I think that's really a part of how we're thinking about climate. And so when you kind of take this shift in mindset from thinking about sustainability investing to more about resource efficiency, this notion that climate tech investing is purely an altruistic practice is actually quite the opposite, right? And so when you think about this, positive environmental impact and economic positives are really intertwined when you think about this combination of resource efficiency and climate tech. And so this is really how we think about investing in climate. I also want to add one bonus theme that doesn't necessarily fit this idea of resource efficiency, but it's environmental regeneration. So how we can manage the risks of a changing climate. And so what are these risks? These risks include supply chain disruptions or grid instability from extreme weather events. So obviously you can see there are massive economic downfalls associated with climate change. And so any technology really that can essentially plug these holes and even reverse the amount of damage we've done to the environment are, we stand to gain a lot in terms of the economy. So industrial manufacturing, I really like thinking of this as modern day alchemy. So for context, alchemy is this ancient thousands-year-old practice of trying to turn regular old materials into gold. Obviously this doesn't work, but how does this relate to industrial manufacturing? When you really boil it down, what industrial manufacturing comes down to is you start out with a feedstock, something super boring, super commonplace, and you want to process it and turn it into something valuable, the product, the gold in this alchemy analogy. And so startups here are really innovating on the feedstock and the process side. And they're asking questions like, how can we use materials that are cheaper, more abundant? How can we even use waste potentially, right? And also, how can we change this process to use less energy? All of this ultimately to end up with that same really valuable product in the end. And so along those lines, I'd like to highlight one of our portfolio startups, Ruby. What they're doing is they're taking carbon dioxide, the molecule in the atmosphere all around us, the stuff that comes out of your cars and industrial plants, they're taking carbon dioxide and using enzymes to transform them into textiles, right, the clothes that we wear. And so we're really excited about this technology, and we're very interested in seeing how they're going to scale in the future. On the energy side, I kind of want to take a step back and cover a few of the macro trends that we're seeing here. And so this is just, again, a really quick snapshot. But on the left here in Virginia, basically every gray dot you see is an existing data center, and every yellow dot is a planned data center that is going to be up and running in the next couple of years. And you see something similar in Georgia, right? So in Georgia, every gray dot is an existing EV or solar manufacturer, and every yellow dot is something that's going to come up in the next couple of years. So we are really poised for a huge spike in energy demand over the next couple of years. And we really need to be able to find a way to efficiently meet that demand. Luckily, renewables have never been cheaper. And so we're in a really special point in our history right now where for the first time ever, wind and solar are actually less expensive than fossil-derived energy. And so this is really important because in addition to the dropping price of solar and wind, we also see that the adoption of solar and wind is steadily increasing, as you can see on the green line on the right. And so the way we envision the future of energy, we love to continue investing in technologies that drive that green curve even more up and to the right. And that's exactly why we invested in Monolith. So what Monolith is doing is they are creating a streamlined platform to make it super easy for homeowners to install solar. And so the reason why we love this, again, is because there are efficient technologies out there, right, like solar, that are super cheap and super environmentally friendly, and anything that we can do to help grease the skids and ultimately increase adoption is something that we're really excited about. Last, I want to cover environmental regeneration, specifically on the carbon removal side. So over the past couple years, we've invested in a couple really exciting startups that I'd like to highlight here. So GigaBlue, what they're doing is they're engineering phytoplankton growth in the ocean. So when they photosynthesize and then sink to the bottom of the ocean, the carbon that they captured is purely sequestered there. We also invested in Vaulted recently. What they're doing is they're taking super carbon-rich waste and geologically sequestering it underground. And finally, we have Heirloom. What they're doing is they're taking, again, the air that we have in the atmosphere. They're directly capturing the carbon dioxide molecules out of it using limestone. And so these three, as you can see, they're all using very different, very diverse methodologies for how they're essentially extracting carbon from the atmosphere. But we're all really excited about them, and they've actually been recognized by a few public awards. So GigaBlue recently won an X Factor award from Elon Musk's X Prize for carbon removal. Similarly, Vaulted and Heirloom were also both recognized as top 20 finalists in the same competition. And they've actually also been recognized by the DOE as one of the leading carbon removal technologies in the US. So we're all really proud to have these three companies in our portfolio.